Baldur's Gate 3. Game of the year. And oh, it is! It sometimes takes a lot for me to really love a game, and thus make a love letter like this one. But Baldur's Gate 3 has convinced me, that is for sure. It is by far the shortest amount of time in regards to how long I've played a game and loved it. I only started playing the game after getting it in January, but it has won me over mind, body, and soul. It happened before I could even muster the word tadpole. Did that rhyme? Kind of, sort of, maybe. And in this video, I will tell you some of the reasons why Baldur's Gate 3 truly was Game of the Year. For me, even though I didn't even play it in the year it got Game of the Year. Now, I will start to talk about some of the beginning parts of the game. Now, this is almost my favorite. Just really going into my character and their backstory. That is, of course, unless you pick one of the already existing characters, which I'm sure is just as rewarding, and I am totally planning to do that at some point. There is a lot of customization. However, it is not quite customizable as, say, Sims, since you can't really pick different faces. The only difference is that you can pick from a few faces, but you can't change the eye shape, nose shape, or lips and so on. You can, however, change your skin color to pretty much anything, and the same goes for eye color. There are also other details that I enjoy being an option, such as freckles, visible aging, and vertigo. The same goes for some scar options and tattoo options, but both of these things are only an option around the neck and face area, but that's okay too. You get to pick a name and a voice, though limited body type options. I sort of think it makes sense for the universe we're in, although it would be nice to see a bit more diversity, but it's nothing major and you can always download mods for this purpose. Off and on, you can pick subcategories within the class you have picked. Actually, I think it is almost always an option, but I will focus specifically for Sorcerer, as that is the class I have picked almost every time. I get it, I should move on, but I love custom spells. Anyway, when you're a sorcerer, you can specifically pick where you got your source of magic from. Personally, I have picked all three options, but I really like the Draconian Blood option, which leads to even more customization. I just admit I decided against having scales on my face. I know I'm a disgrace, but that's customization for you. And now I can't really go on without talking about the beautiful cutscenes in the beginning and all throughout, but I will be getting more into that later. As a matter of fact, I would like to talk about the story of the game, which is of course, simply put, that you've been abducted by a bunch of mind flayers and now you have a tadpole on your head. Such an uncomfy image, huh? I think the best part of the story is how customizable it is. Almost from every little thing, it actually does have a consequence later on, whether or not it is positive or negative. You even get special dialogue options based on what class or race you are. It is amazing. I'm currently, or was currently, doing a playthrough as a Githyanki, and I'm actually not dating Lae'zel, weirdly. Can you guess who I am dating, though? Leave your guesses in the comments. Although you can easily go against everything your race, for example, stands for. I was also a drow, and I was the sweetest peaches pie. So maybe that's against a drow's nature in general. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But with all that knowledge in the bag, let's move on to talk about the gameplay is relatively simple. Even the most noobs of people could probably follow along with the pace and honestly quickly understand how everything is done. In my opinion, you do not have to have any prior knowledge of Dungeons and Dragons to understand how it works. While it helps, you don't really need to know anything. There can be a bit of reading to do, but off and on the game really does help you, tutorial-wise. I also find the story easy to follow with the gameplay. You understand why you're doing certain things, because you can read your journal at all times if needed. So just keep track of your journal, but you can also skip so many things if you do so please. It is not necessarily obvious whether or not things are a side quest. However, you still do get the sense that you have major storyline things that you must do. Say, for example, get rid of the worm in your head. Now, what about the puzzles throughout? How do I feel about those? Well, off and on, the game also helps you with that as well. But I'm a notorious Googler when I don't know how to proceed, because I don't enjoy being on the brink of frustration trying to figure puzzles out. I know that's like the point, but I just don't enjoy that. But with that being said, I still do like the puzzles a lot. I know that's quite contradictory, but most of the time they're quite doable and understandable. But I swear to God, if I have to do those short trials one more time, oh, I do. In every playthrough. Got it. Also, I know that's not much of a puzzle, but they are definitely frustrating and hella annoying, so miss me with the sidestep trial, seriously. Of course, it's not every part that is super nice to have to repeat, especially since I often forget how to do certain puzzles. So it's like square one for me. But maybe that's more of a me problem and less an everybody else problem, but I just wanted to mention that for a little bit. Now I can't move on without talking about the characters / the dating sim aspect. Do I base my entire playthrough on who I'm going to pursue romantically? No. Okay, yes. But only to keep making it interesting and to make my character's specific story make more sense. I had this whole thing about one of my characters having a sixth sense that she would meet the love of her life soon, but being conflicted about it because of, well, the parasite and the fact that she was meeting a whole lot of people in this period of her life, so how would she even know who the love of her life was? Like, what is this sixth sense? But then, as soon as she saw Helsen, she felt it. It's lame, sure, but I thought it was fun. And that aspect of the game can be so rewarding and also make the individual people that you're traveling with grow in a different way. Like, the dynamic is undeniably different when you're dating characters versus simply being friends. But putting the romance element aside for a minute and just speaking about the way the characters make you feel, or I guess more specifically, how they made me feel, I feel such a big responsibility for them. I want us all to get along, and I want to just be there for all of them. It's a big task, and a task that has filled me with a lot of emotions, good and bad. If we look at, for example, Carlake's story, I am just floored by the fact that she is unhealable. I was scrambling to get Infernal Iron almost anywhere I could, and I was like, Damon, do what you can, please help my girl. Like, she's just such a warm, lovely soul. Like, oh man, I felt such responsibility to help her, and I guess I in a sense did, but in my first playthrough she didn't make it and I was sobbing. Absolutely sobbing. I think that of course, spoiler, I hope you guys know that there will be spoilers. I really like the ending where Will goes with her so that they have each other in Avernus. That just makes me super duper happy, honestly, that they actually got to go together, because in that playthrough I of course let Will sell his soul, I guess, to save his father. Which, yeah, not great, I get it, but it seems there's a prospect for them to get out of Avernus, so yeah, let's not worry too much about that. Carlake lives and they are together in eternal bliss. Or something to that effect. Now let's talk about the specific lovely characters that just make this game what it is for the most part. Honestly, they carry a lot. Let's start with Shadowheart. Shadowheart is a high elf, a half elf, of course, cleric, that you first come across on the Nautilus ship. Shadowheart is a strong spellcaster to have in your party, especially with her healing capabilities. It is really good to have her, but it miss sometimes, you know. I really do like her for her strong will, her looks, but I prefer her without bangs, but I think her armor is awesome. However, I do prefer to change her clothes because I just get so tired of seeing them in their original clothes when there are so many funny options. I should really download a mod. But I really like Shadowheart's arc, if you will. It is beautiful. I can't believe I lost her the first time around because I didn't have her with me at the short trials. That's so stupid. But abso-freaking-lutely recommend all the way. Absolutely. It is so satisfying to see her find herself and trusting the Night Song, if she of course does trust the Night Song. And yeah, she's just very, honestly, the kindest to you in the beginning, except for maybe Will and Halsin and stuff like that. But of your beginning crew, I feel like she is one of the kindest to you. She's like, don't let her mistake your kindness for a weakness. Or she obviously sees your kindness for weakness or something, she says. Yeah, she just, you can tell she has a good heart, but you do have to kind of get into the shell of a person that she is. And then there's Gale. Gale is a human wizard with an interesting story if you take some time to build your trust with him. And I know that he is also memed upon because he just really fast can become like a romantic interest because he's like, let me show you some magic trick, honey baby. But I also do recommend romancing him. It is quite nice and wholesome. And he's so goofy and just a little like, a little special boy. I love some of his comments. Almost always crack me up when he's out in my party. And I do enjoy his abilities. But like I said, I'm also very biased because of my sorcerer love. My love for being a sorcerer. So, of course, I like Will because he's a wizard and has the sort of same types of spells and stuff. Potentially, anyway. Then there's Astarion. Astarion is a high elf rogue vampire spawn who no longer abides by certain vampire rules. While he is quite interesting in the beginning, in that he tries to actually unalive you, or at least threaten to unalive you when you first meet him, he is a sneaky little fellow that is good to have by your side if you do like the rogue play style, because he can do a lot of damage. And I will say, since I almost just finished my Githyanki playthrough where, spoiler, I romanced Astarion. Did you guess it right? Did you? Did you not? Got it. He has a beautiful arc in that sense. It is really heart-wrenching to see him go through all the things he goes through, actually, with the whole vampire ascension stuff. When you meet Cazador, it's far from the flirty, outgoing, boisterous type person that he has perceived to be this entire time. He is very much in shambles, and you can really tell this is his biggest enemy, and he hates him and is also afraid of him. He's so afraid of Cazador, and just the scene where he's covered in blood after killing him and just sobbing, it makes so much sense, and it is an awesome arc to say the least. And Will! Will is a human warlock known as the Blade of Frontiers. While he keeps his devil pack quiet, it's clear he's not a fan of devils in general. He is such a kind soul. I can't. He's also a little bit of a flirt. I don't know if you've heard him in any of the scenes where you're out with him. I had him in my party with Lae'zel and Shadowheart at some point, and he was like, Lae'zel, that booty be bootying. He didn't say that, but you know, to that effect. And then she was like, get away from me. And then he was like, well, Shadowheart, and she's like, up, do not think that I'll be your sloppy seconds, basically. Something along those lines. I'm definitely paraphrasing, but I just thought it was really funny. His arc is also beautiful while he's very much in conflict with himself and his pact. He wants to get out of it, but can also embrace it and be like, Miss Sora, you asshole! It's a whole thing, but yeah, I really like Will. He's honestly one of the kindest people in the party, really. Now let's move on to someone who is maybe not the kindest person in the party, Lae'zel. Lae'zel is a Githyanki fighter, and she's also one of the first people you meet on the Nautiloid ship. She is a Githyanki, like I just said, and Githyankis are awesome. They're made of steel. They're not really made of steel, actually. I should probably preface that with something. But she is honestly an epic fighter, and I prefer using her rather than Karlach, because I don't know why, but fighters just seem to have a little bit more spunk than barbarians do. Yeah, but whatever. I really do like her and her snark attitude, and how she doesn't really know the customs around here. Like, that you have to kind of help her with the language sometimes. And I do enjoy her sass and her loyalty. She's loyal to the bone, she really is. And I think she's quite misunderstood, honestly. I haven't yet romanced her, but I will be looking forward to doing that in the future, because I think she has a lot to offer. Like, yeah, in the beginning she might just be like, I want your sweat, but she changes her mind and actually loves you, maybe, hopefully, yeah. But yeah, no matter what, she is fierce and loyal, and I can't fault her for that at all. Did somebody say fierce and loyal? Because Karlach is nothing short of that as well. Karlach is a tiefling barbarian you can come across on the Risen Road. Because we'll have to unalive her for Zariel, but we don't, because she is just that, a tiefling, and she is also under the devil's control, so there's not much of a dilemma there. You don't get rid of her, you just let her join you. And like I mentioned previously, her arc breaks my heart for the most part, but she is so sweet. Like, and just like the best himbo bimbo I have ever met ever. I'm obsessed with the fact that she thinks Elminster is Gale's grandpa, and you can just indulge in it as one, be like, yeah, I think so, and he's like, oh wow, that's cute. It's just so funny. I love her humor and the fact that she's just breaking it down in camp. Sometimes she's just dancing for the dance, and whatever, go figure. No, but love her, I really do. We could all use a bit of Mama K in our lives. Talking about someone you'd love to hug, Halsin! Halsin is a wood elf druid who is the leader of the Druid Grove. You encounter him while completing the Rescue in the Druid Halsin quest. Halsin is so kind, and yeah, we all know, also a little bit of a daddy. Let's just move on, okay? I loved romancing him, like I said, with my Cinder character. I don't know if I mentioned her name, but her name was Cinder. Oh my god, it was just lovely to see their love unfold, and I think it's quite awesome that he's actually polyamorous, at least in the beginning. And I think he's just kind through and through. Might be a bit of a nature freak, of course, like I said before, but honestly, I can very much look past that, because he's a druid, so doesn't that make sense? And yeah, he's also a very valuable asset to have on your team, whilst fighting out on the open field. I don't know. I just love Halsin for everything that he is. He's just also a little bit of a goofy goofer, and I love everything about him. I really do. I must admit, I am one of those. Miss me with the bear, though. Gotta miss me with that. But other than that, love him. Yet another epic druid is Jaheira. Jaheira is a half-elf druid who appeared in previous Baldur's Gate games, and you meet her for the first time at the Last Light Inn in the Shadow-Cursed Lands. She is so freaking funny. I hope she was like this in the other games. I don't know, because I haven't played them. But I think that she is so funny, and I love her sarcasm, and just, I don't know, she's always makes me laugh. Almost all her dialogue options, I'm just like, yes, and she can take a joke, and she's just, no, like, oh, I love Jaheira. She's just epic, honestly. Like, if Fierce was a person, it would be her, absolutely. Love having her in my team as well, because she's just as valuable of an asset as Halsin is, because of course she also has druid powers, but no, Jaheira is epic. And then there is her little companion or friend, Minsk. Minsk is a human ranger who has appeared in previous Baldur's Gate games as well. Once again, I do not know of this, but it's so awesome that they throw it back. And while I said that Karlach was the himbo bimbo of my dreams, Minsk is the himbo. He is so, like, stupid, but I really do love him for that. And that tattoo really suits him, or whatever it is. He is just goofy, and I love Boo. I love that he has a little bit of a soft heart, and yeah, that he is kind of stupid is kind of nice. Of course, you don't get to do much with him as you first meet him when you actually get to Baldur's Gate, so it's limited how much you actually do get to engage with him in the game, as he's of course not in Act 1 or 2, but it's fine, and I still got my thirst cleansed, I don't know, from him. Enough of that. And last, and I guess least, no, is Minthera. Minthera is a drow paladin you first encounter in the Scattered Sanctum as one of the leaders of the goblin army. She's a tough cookie. She definitely is a tough cookie, absolutely. I don't know much about Minthera because I hardly go that route. Like, I don't know how to go evil route. I know it's possible to get her without actually going for the Emerald Grove. I just haven't done it, so I can't say much about Minthera other than, man, hello? Are you evil? Are you good? I don't know. Could you be both? Why do I sound like Dr. Doofenshmirtz? Whatever. But that's that on the main companion characters that I will be speaking about, because if I were to sit here and speak about all the characters forever, I would just that. Sit here forever. Now let's talk about the immersion / the cutscenes. This game could be a movie, easily. However, you couldn't. There's simply too much content. Which route would the movie makers go with? The Dark Urge? Maybe? I'm not sure. But even then, that could be so many different ways as well. Or end so many different ways as well. The immersion is simply phenomenal, if you let it be. It was to the point where I tried to make an evil quote-unquote playthrough and betray the tieflings in Emerald Grove with Minthera, and the minute Sevlar reacted to the betrayal, I literally went back to the point where I spoke to Minthera the first time because I simply could not go through with it. Because from my other playthroughs, I have simply made too big of a connection to Sevlar and all of the other tieflings to do it. Like, if I'm so evil that Gale will leave my party permanently, then I don't want to do it. But this just once again speaks to the consequences of your actions in this game. In my first playthrough, I completely messed up and was not able to lift the shadow curse because I did not speak to Art. So I was too focused on trying to do everything else, like saving Wolbrin and so on, that I had defeated Thorm. And then it was of course too late, but I had no idea. I thought the night song would lift the curse. But alas, I learned my lesson. I also just want to show you all the tabs I've made so far, because I can't. Just indulge me for a second, okay? So, meet my first playthrough. Me! It's me, Rebecca. A sorcerer with a weird love for wizards. Yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say about her. Then next is Abby, a sweet drow who fell for the Blade of Frontiers. Also a sorcerer. I know. Pick another class, god damn it. And then there's one of my favorites, Cinder. Cinder is a purple elf. Just cuz. Why can't she be purple? She can, so I made her purple. Who fell for another elf. No, not that elf. The big one. Yeah, the big one. Yeah, that one. Also a sorcerer. Give me a break, okay? Give me a break. My most recently finished playthrough was the fierce Githyanki Inca, who, like I said, did you guess who she romanced? I mean, I did just tell you, so well, Asterion. I wanted to know what the hype was about, so yeah. That's why I decided to go that route. She was also, you guessed it, a sorcerer! And I am now doing a playthrough with a tiefling named Lily, who is actually a sorcerer. Ha! No, she is not! She is a barbarian! Aren't you proud of me? Please say you're proud of me. And I am sure there is so much more to come, because I can't get enough, honestly. And again, I can keep coming back to this game because it is so versatile. You can literally do so much and explore even more. I'm sure there are so many things I haven't done just yet. Therefore, the immersion just simply works every time. At least for me. Because I am always excited to see what comes next when I pick different options I have not previously. Other than my class, of course. That stays the same for the most part. And believe it or not, I will still find stuff. Like, there's still many things that I have not seen, like little crevices I have not gone into and whatever, what have you. Yeah, literally. Even after 4 playthroughs. Either I'm not as thorough or the game is huge. Pretty sure it's the last part though. So, Baldur's Gate is a game that is just awesome and you should try it for yourself. Play it your way. You don't have to play it like I do, of course. Play it your way and follow your heart, even if your heart is evil, or just F around. Like, you don't have to take it seriously either. You can honestly do both. And I've seen people do both and succeed at it. So honestly, do what your heart desires. And don't forget, there is an F5 button for a reason. Yeah. You might need it sometimes when you roll. Yep, done that once or twice. But with all that being said, huge shout out to all the voice actors and just everyone who made this game as wonderful as it is, because wow, that's, oh my god. And of course, shout out to the House of Hope. Immortalized. Oh my god, it's just wow. I wasn't expecting that at all. Oh my god, I could just talk about this game for ages. But alas, I will say that you have reached the end of this video. So, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and play Baldur's Gate 3, because it's awesome. And I will hopefully see you in the next video. Goodbye, y'all!